So go ahead and just fill me in on Bruno and what you're wanting, what you're noticing, and all the good stuff.
Well, I mean, um, he's I guess you call him a COVID puppy, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. How old
So
is he again? He's let me see.
we got him in October, and so I don't know, you know, he was a puppy, and so they held him until he was old enough, right? So I think that's 8 weeks old, right?
Okay, so
So we must have got him when he was about 2 months old, and then we got him like the week before Halloween, right? Uh,
yeah, and I'll be writing stuff down, just letting you know.
sure. And we've had dogs before in the past, and we've always had like daycare for them, took them to dog parks, stuff like that. But of course, right after October was November, and that's when like COVID really spiked.
Yeah.
So we never really got to socialize them the way that we wanted to, and then it kind of got cold, you know. So now we're trying to like kind of play a little bit of catch up with that. And he does real well on walks. He does real well meeting other dogs on walks. We've taken him to dog parks several times. He prefers the small dog side.
Hmm.
He's interested in like the big dog side, but he won't go in there. Like he's
Yeah.
interested in the dogs on this side, but he's a little bit timid in going in there. Um, so he does well. Like we crate him, we crate him when we leave, and he does fine. Um, he does fine in his crate. We don't usually crate him at night. Will like put him in his crate, but he's kind of got a little bit of freedom to like kind of sleep wherever he wants to sleep, like either in bed with us or lots of times he'll like sleep under the bed. You know,
Okay.
he likes to sleep under. Um,
So you're able to leave him in the crate alone, and he's fine.
yeah, for
That's
several
really
hours
good.
at a time, and he's fine. He's chill. He just kind of we'll give him a treat, put him in there. Um, he'll eat like one treat, but you give him like a bone or something to gnaw on. He'll kind of wait till we get back, and then as soon as we get back, he'll go to town on the bone or whatever,
Hmm.
kind of waiting for us to get back. Um, so those are all kind of like the good things. Um, the things that we're really looking for though is still play bites like a lot, right? And so we kind of want to make that stop because it's like we tried to get him to stop play biting when he was a puppy, and we just kind of thought we kept trying and kind of thought it would just go away, but he just keeps doing it, right? And then um, at night he just got done with it. He's passed out now, but he goes through this crazy time where he'll bite at us, he likes to pull at our clothes, and it's just really kind of like annoying. And it's like, I can deal with it. I know it's not good dog behavior, but I can deal with it. But we can't deal with it because he does the same thing to our kids who are like 5 and 7,
Hmm.
right? So he'll like go after them and he'll like bite at their toes and stuff like that, and they'll end up crying. So that's the real thing that I want to work on is kind of just like that. Um, what we can do to keep him from, you know, from nipping. Like it's never like aggressive. He's never been aggressive with a person or another dog. It's just this. He just is like crazy play and just like gnaws on you, right? So that's one thing we'd like to learn to correct. And maybe it's just about getting energy out of him. And if like if there's good suggestions of what we can do to like get energy out of him or like work his mind or whatever it is, um, that would be really great. Um, I think that's all I can think of right now. It's just that one thing. And then just also, like we're just kind of looking for basic um just like basic commands and behavior. Like while he does okay on a leash, but he kind of pulls a little bit. We can correct him, but he still kind of pulls. I'd like to be able to know that like if we take him to a dog park, we can call him. I've taken him out to my parents' house,
Hmm.
which we've got a big yard there, and he does real well listening. Like he'll go off and explore, but if we call him, he'll come back. So that's good. But I just want to like kind of like build on that a little bit more, just so
Make it like more formal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
just some basic obedience and leash, behavior and then just as far as like so basic obedience and then like behavior, it's just like that play biting is like the only thing that I really see as like an issue.
Yeah. Anything else?
I mean, maybe the more that we talk, I'll think of stuff, but that's what I've got like off the top of my head.
Okay. Um, and then is he older than 6 months?
Yeah, he's like he's like 10 months old.
Okay. Um, and that size he's at now is probably like the biggest he's gonna get, you think, or is he gonna grow more?
I mean, if he grows more, it'll probably just be like a couple more pounds, I think, right?
Yeah, filling out or something like that.
Yeah.
And how much does he weigh?
I don't really know because we haven't been able to go into the vet with him.
Yeah,
So,
I'd say like okay. I think I have like a general
but
range.
I would say he's probably just under 25 pounds.
Yeah, cool. As in, do you know anything? Is it your wife or is it a girlfriend or?
My wife, yeah.
Is there anything that is she on the same page with like what she's wanting to kind of address and everything?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
Mhm.
Um, so your goals for Bruno, like how do you, or like for like um seeing yourself with Bruno like a year later or whatever down, um, do you see yourself like, going for a walk, a nice walk, and then you go to the dog park and then you need to call him when you need him? Or do you do the walk, you go to the dog park, and then do you see yourself like going at restaurants and you want Bruno to like lay down and just sit there until you guys are done eating, like an outdoor patio, basically?
That would be really nice. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Or do you see yourself like doing all that, right?
yeah.
And then maybe like you go on off leash hikes or you got a cabin up somewhere, you want him to like run around off leash.
I don't think we need to go that far.
Yeah.
I mean, because I think most of the, if, we took him to Starved Rock last
Oh, nice.
Thursday,
Yeah.
and he did really great. He was on the leash. He did really well, and he really liked it.
Cool.
Because like when we walk around, just like the block and stuff, like he stops and smells everything. So I guess that's when I'm like walking on a leash. I kind of want him to like follow us more because he
Mhm.
kind of goes off and smells, and it's like, come on, come on. So he
Yeah.
doesn't really like pull. He doesn't really pull on the leash. It's more we're pulling him, like, come on, come on. But when we were at Starved Rock, he was just like, woo. So that was nice, right? But so
Yeah.
I'm thinking most of the hiking we would do, he would have to be on leash anyway, right?
True. Yeah.
But
That's another thing. Yeah.
but in a way, like I can think like, I have a friend who has a cabin on Fox Lake. My parents live out in the country, but I don't really see us like,
Yeah. It's just being realistic and like how frequently you're gonna actually be
yeah,
hiking
even
outdoors.
I
Yeah.
mean, we like at those places, there's not real hiking, but like he would have like open roaming, and we would just need to call him and make him come back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it would be nice to be able to have him sit at a patio because he really, really likes people, like really likes people. So he always wants, that's the other thing that would be a good behavior thing too, is like when people come over, he's always jumping on them, you know?
Okay.
And I told my dad, I go, Dad, he just wants you to rub his belly. So, like if you just stand up straight and just say down, he'll roll over on his belly for you. But my dad was like, I can't bend down that far anymore. So it would be nice just to like also teach him to like just stay off of people. You
Yeah.
know, most people
Um,
don't mind because he's little, but still, it's just not good.
yeah.
You know,
So outside, walking, and then recall indoors, and then you also want him to kind of like just hang out at a restaurant patio setting,
yeah,
and then indoors, the zoomies and like the jumping and the greeting of people walking inside.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Um, yeah. So we just asked like these questions just to know what program to set you up with that is something that you that is best suited like for your goals and future with Bruno. So we don't give you commands that you won't be really using that are useful in this and whatever you want from Bruno, you know. So we give you what you need and what you're wanting, and nothing else really. That's just, you know, not needed or wanted. So he's 10 months. Do you walk him on a harness, or no, you walk him on a flat collar, right?
Usually, except when like except if the kids are walking them, then we've got a harness for them.
Oh, harness, okay.
Yeah, because the kid's like pulling on his neck, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Too much. So if the kids are coming with us, I usually put a harness on them so the kids can hold the leash if they want to.
Nice. Yeah.
But I think I emailed you about the pincher collar, not the prong collar.
Oh, Nicole, is this your wife?
Yeah. Oh, she's trying to join?
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah.
Connecting. Hello. Is she able to hear us? Can you hear us?
There we go. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Just letting you know that we are recording our consultation videos for now on.
Perfect. Thanks.
Cool. Nicole, we were just talking about in the home, Bruno gets the zoomies. He'll play bite constantly. And then when guests come in, he's more jumpy and kind of annoying with the guests coming in. And then outdoors, like it's on the walks, he's more like nose to the ground, doesn't really focus on the walks, and you're wanting him to be more of like, you know, focused, and like when we walk, you're supposed to walk with me.
Totally.
So that's what we've been talking about. And then also I was asking about like where do you see yourself with Bruno like in the future? Because it's just to choose like what program would be best suited for you. He was interested, Nathan was more interested in like the, you know, we walk Bruno around the block, or, you know, whatever, and then we go to the dog park. We need recall for him to come back. And then, you know, here and there, we'll go to like a restaurant outdoor patio, and we will let Bruno to kind of just hang out here with us while we eat.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You know, Nathan's parents live in the country, so like I would really like for him to be able to come back to us when we call for him and things like that. And I think my biggest thing is, you know, we have 2 children that are on the smaller side, and I feel like we're pretty diligent about them. Like my daughter especially will put her face right in front of his and things like that, and getting her to back off, you know. But I think giving us a little bit of training in that way to make sure we're directing our kids, and when the time comes when their friends are over, to keep them safe and everything, even if it is just the play biting. And I think one of the hardest things that we've both struggled with, like when it comes to the nipping, even if we put hands away, then he just like incessantly barks at us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
During that time. So no, I'm pretty on par with Nathan. I think the recall's huge, keeping our kids safe, and their friends safe when they come over.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling him that he's never aggressive, but like
right.
Still a play bite can hurt, you know.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Do you mind if I share a video I took of Bruno?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So let me see if I can share real quick, because this is like at night, like he gets crazy, and like I'll play with him and it still doesn't stop, but this is what he does. Let me see if I can where's the share? Here.
And then would it just pop up, or do I need to click something?
You don't need to click anything. Host disabled screen sharing. So I guess.
Oh wait, he can enable screen share though.
I have to do it?
I think so. I think if you go to, I don't know where exactly, but if you play around with the settings, you should be able to enable share. Or we could always email it to you too.
Yeah,
I'll just-
email to me
I guess.
and I'll just watch it real quick and then I'll continue talking. And
Yeah, I was just you know, it's interesting to watch because like he's just like barking because he wants. I don't even really know what he wants because I'll throw a ball, I'll do whatever, but he'll just continue barking, and his tag will be like wagging and everything. So I but
Start now,
yeah,
or is that the video?
no, that was the video.
Oh, it was.
So yeah, everything sounds pretty simple here. So for Bruno, you know, dogs deal or like do a lot of like physicality with each other, right? So if Bruno was with his litter and he started to zoom around, right, mama dog would not have that. And then what would happen is it'd be a bite just to stop it. And then Bruno's like, okay, I stopped. So like there's a YouTube video with a mother lab where she's like, and I don't know if you guys have seen it, it's pretty popular, but she's entering like a playpen with her puppies, right? And all the puppies are all on top of her, jumping. They're happy to see mom. And like the mom just starts showing her teeth and just starts snapping. She snaps like 4 puppies, and then all of them just like go to like, you know, they give space, they walk away, and they just lay down. And it's all calm. So when we, you know, because dogs, a lot of people think, you know, I give my dogs treats for them when they stop, you know, like when they don't bite me, I give a treat and all these other things. But realistically, like dogs don't give each other treats for not biting, you know, it's just you don't bite. That's all. So like similar to like, you know, you come home from school and you're like, Mom, I didn't steal anything today. Oh wow, like here's a you know, like a lollipop or something like that. That doesn't happen really, you know. It's just consequence for actions for dogs, like, you know. So why I speak about physicality and everything is because that's how we use e-collar. Do you guys know we use e-collar for training,
Yeah.
right? Okay. And what
Yeah.
do you know about e-collar?
Well, so I don't know if you know, but we used to foster with Canine for Keeps,
Okay.
and Daniel McElroy, I think is his last name,
Oh yeah.
who's at Bark Avenue. So we're like semi-familiar with e-collars. Our last foster dog was a pit bull mix, and my brother adopted her, and he sent her to do like the full training with Daniel, and I am not opposed to at all. I mean, today I was having a moment with Bruno when he was getting crazy, and it's not like I don't aggressive isn't the right word. His bark is just like so insistent that like I kind of grabbed him on the scruff of the neck until he yelped, and then he totally shut down. And it was the first time I had experienced him shutting down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not in a bad way, just like chilling out.
Yeah, that's correct. You know, we'll get to a point. It's like, you know, I mean, with humans, it's different. It's like when we're getting bothered by a human, like our first response isn't like, hello?
Yeah,
Oh, I think she froze.
she probably did. I think she's out on the porch and the Wi-Fi is kind of flaky. She just
Okay, I'll keep going.
coming inside.
We'll see. So with like humans, when we're like in a tense situation or like where we're uncomfortable with someone or like someone's getting in our face, like our first reaction isn't punch them or like, you know, physicality, or, you know, we have words, we have language, we have, you know, we can kind of, you know, figure out the situation. Okay, I feel uncomfortable here, I'm just going to leave the situation. But dogs, they kind of don't they don't problem solve like that way. They don't talk it out, right? Oh, hello.
Hi, hang on. I'm gonna leave this meeting and sit with Nate.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, I was just talking about how humans deal with these situations of like, if your daughter's in Bruno's face, Bruno's probably gonna bite to give space, right? But if it goes like human on human, we talk it out like, hey man, you're kind of getting close, and we give warnings, and if it comes to a fight, that's just how people are. If they want to fight, they fight or whatever. Um, so you're doing something similar to like what another dog would do. Bruno keeps bothering you. You do something physical. You hear a yelp, but then after that yelp, Bruno stops. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. It's just giving consequence for his actions, right? Um, so where's it going with this? So yeah, e-collar. Have you guys ever been to a physical therapist?
A physical therapist? Like us ourselves?
Yeah.
Yes.
Have you ever had like that where they put it on your muscle?
Yeah. Like the vibration.
Yeah. So how they deal with it's called a TENS unit, and like you can get it at like I think Walgreens. Jesse said like they have it for like your abs, like it massages your abs like a 6-pack or something like that. I'm not sure. But
it just makes you like contract really quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Correct. And the way that the physical therapists do it is like they like turn it up until like the client says that uncomfortable, and then they put it two lowers down or something like that, and then they just let the machine do the work. So that technology is what an e-collar is. We're not shocking your dog. Like they don't feel it go through their body. It's just like the 2 contact points and a little like a muscle twitch or something like that. Jesse likes to say it's electric, but it's not electricity, right?
Right.
So and it's physical, so that's why we get closest to 100%, 90% obedience reliability, is because it's physical. It's their language, they understand. Dogs don't give each other treats or say good boy. It's just physicality, right? There's other methods like positive only. Positive only has a low ceiling, so it's like you bring Bruno out. Bruno's looking at a dog, but you're like, Bruno, and then you have the treat. He sees the treat. He's like, I can get that treat later. This dog, though, I might not see later, so I want the dog. That's where they have trouble, and then it goes prong collar. So prong collar is like that spiky collar.
Yep.
It's a step towards more reliability than the obedience and behavior work, because it's a correctional tool and you can correct. So the prong collar mimics a dog bite. So like when you tug the leash, it closes, and then it becomes more like pressure, like a dog bite. So that's why most dogs thrive on it. The issue is though, once you take it off, the leash off, then like you lose control again. So it's only when the leash is on you'll have control.
Yeah.
And then there's e-collar, where we can take the leash off and still have control. And Jesse will say, if I'm given options of this option can give you like 20%, this option is like 50, 60, but this option gives you 100%, closest to 100% as possible. We're going to go with the 100% most of the time, right? So that's why we always use e-collar with 6 months and older. Once the puppy reaches 6 months, we start e-collar training. We can do it younger than that. We've done it before. It's just a little more nuanced, and if done incorrectly for younger puppies under 6 months, you can create like nervous piddling, so nervous pain.
Yeah.
So once they're older, they're able to kind of grasp the concept of discipline and pressure, and it's more smoother. And also, like usually by like 6 months, the owner's like had enough, so they're like, yeah, we'll do e-collar training. It's at that point they're down for it.
Well, I think we're pretty on board, because at the end of the day, we want to keep him safe, and we want to keep our kids safe and other people safe. And so I certainly don't have a problem with it, and I'm probably the more sensitive one about it. But I just do I think it's whatever we can do to keep everybody safe in this situation, especially with young kids in the house.
Yeah.
It's our responsibility to make sure there is no reaction from him.
Oh yeah. And then just with kids and everything, it's important to teach them like boundaries of dogs, because what a child practices with their dog at home. So Jesse's had a client where the family like they had a dog that was super like laid back, like the kids would climb on the dog, like they'll pull the dog's ears. The dog did not care, but parents let that happen because yeah, our dog doesn't care. So then one time that kid that did it all to the dog went over his friend's house, saw a dog,
Thing.
and did the same thing, but that dog was not cool with it and ended up getting like bit somewhere. I'm not sure if it was a face or arm or
Yeah.
whatever. So just being mindful of what you're having your kids practice and just making sure that, whatever they're doing to Bruno now, they're probably going to do it to another dog, right?
That's a really good perspective.
Yeah.
A little bit crazy. I have a girlfriend whose dog bit a child in the face, but I've showed them picture to my kids to be like,
Oh, nice.
can be the repercussion.
Oh, yeah.
You don't listen to his signals, because majority of dogs, I don't feel like, go from 0 to 60 and just bite. They give signs before that they're like saying back off,
Yeah. Sometimes kids might miss that too. Sometimes like the lip licking is a stress. Like, okay, I'm uncomfortable, and then a bite. Kids aren't thinking, wow, this dog is stressed. They're licking their lips. I'll back up. It's just like just don't do that to the dog. But yeah. So we have what you're kind of telling me is like, so that we have an in-person program, right? 2 classes. So if you're wanting him to know how to, walk on a leash, recall, and like hang out at a restaurant with you guys, it'd probably be like the 9-week program, or 6-week, depending. Since we're not dealing with anything behavior-wise, like serious behavior.
Yeah.
There could be a chance that we can use one of those classes to teach the command for him to stay still, but it's usually like a 9-week program. So 6 weeks is you walk your dog and you need recall. 9-week is recall, walk your dog, and you need your dog to stay somewhere. Then the 12-week is everything plus off-leash hiking. And those are in person.
What?
Off-leash hiking, sorry.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And this is all in-person programs. So for the 9-week, if we were to do it, the 2 classes would be the walking command. Then the next 2, because the first class is heel, because we need to teach Bruno how that he is in control of the e-collar, that he turns it off and he turns it on. Bruno will never know that you're the one pressing the button. Also, there should never be a moments of your training where you're like, Bruno listens to, I'm sorry, is it Nicole?
Yes.
Nicole and Nathan. So Bruno listens to Nicole more than Nathan. That shouldn't happen because the number is always the same. So our e-collars have 127 levels. Old style shock collars, or some today, only have like 5, right? 5 and 127 are the same power, but like we can be more specific. So if he was on the old style shock collars, or like the ones that have 5 levels, he could be yelping on a 3, but then not listening on a 2. So it's like, well, what do we do now? With the dog Traw, that's the brand we use. If he is yelping at a 40 and not feeling it on a 30, then we can go 35. So teaching him how to turn it on, how to turn it off, he'll never know that you're pressing it. There will never be a situation where he listens to one more than the other. It's just depending on what you allow him, what you allow. So if you allow more gray area and allow him to get away with things, then he's going to know. He's like, oh, with mom on the walks, I can kind of pull a little more. But with dad, I need to keep myself in check. That will happen. It's just how you practice it. But there's never going to be like, he won't listen to me even though I do it, because the number is always going to be the same. So 30 for you will be 30 for Nathan, right? So that's like the first class, just teaching him how to walk with it. And then the second class is more like part 2 of heel for the owners, like body language stuff. Then the next 2 classes is recall, come when called. And then we can teach him the place command, which is go to your bed, don't move. Then the down command, which is probably what you're going to be wanting to use at the restaurants, and then stay. And then you have um, 2 more classes so we can work on the more stationary commands like the down, place, and then the stay, and then maybe sit as well. And then we can also like do a little bit of long leash work to get him to be able to be responsive while on long leash. If you have that property and everything, you can use a long leash and know how to use it with every command he knows, because there's phases, right? There's
Yeah.
the short leash phase, right? Then there's phases to get to off leash. So it's short leash phase, long leash dragging, long leash, and then no leash in an enclosed area, and then no leash in an unenclosed area. So there's steps to it. It's not just short leash. Okay, let's take the leash off. It's like, oh, you gotta like make sure he's really, mentally focused on you, right? Another thing is that the zoomies might go away by themselves as we work through the program, because it's adding discipline, right? So that's what he's missing. So once you apply discipline, like you did with his neck, once you apply it, he gets it. He's like, okay, that's enough, right? So once we're applying discipline on the walks and everything, you might see him become more calmer and more what's another word for it? But just more calmer in the home, right?
Well, like, and if he
Obedient.
wants to play, that's fine, but like showing that he wants to play in like an appropriate manner, so
Yeah.
to speak. You know what I mean?
Like, bring me your toy. Don't
Yeah.
don't bark at me.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that might go away by itself. I'm not sure. If it doesn't, we can give you guys tools, either the e-collar or other ways, other tools and ideas and ways, so that you're not so reliant on the e-collar. So some
Yeah.
common questions owners ask for the e-collar is like when, or like how long is it on? Like when does it come off? It's on when you need it. So if you're gonna go for a walk with Bruno, right, the e-collar would be on. It would be on because we can't account, or we can't predict what's going to happen in life, right? So if we're walking, right, on the sidewalk, and then a car crash just happens right here, Bruno's probably going to freak out, right? So if he starts running away, and then let's say he breaks from the flat collar, or like he slips up the collar and he's running, right? Well, if you don't have the e-collar on, there's no way to bring him back. E-collar on, you have that so that you can bring him back to override the flight mode. Because when dogs are in flight mode, they're thinking kill or be killed, like they're gone, right?
Yeah.
So that e-collar can override that that way of thinking, that mindset, to bring him back, right? So on walks, the e-collar would be on, just because we can't predict what's going to happen in life or on these walks. Now in the home, let's say he stopped the zoomies, and then he's like just more of a calmer dog, because sometimes that happens. Then you don't need it on, right?
Right.
Now for the guests, if you know you're gonna have a guest come over 30 minutes prior, collar them up, correct whatever needs to be corrected, like the jumping. And then if you find that you only need to use the e-collar when a guest arrives, and then that means what that's telling me is like, okay, he just needs a few corrections in the beginning, and then I can take the collar off and he's good to go, That can happen as well. So it's only on when you need it. If he's an angel in the house, you don't need the e-collar. Any questions so far?
My brother's dog, who did the training with Danielle, she's, how old is she, 7? I think she's about 6 or 7 now.
Mhm.
And they just put the e-collar on, but they never actually have to use the control anymore. Like,
Yeah.
she feels that it's on her and she knows what that means.
Yeah. Sometimes that'll happen. Like when I say the e-collar will be on during the walk, it doesn't mean you're going to be pressing the button all the time, But in the beginning, you want to press that button a lot, so the more you use the e-collar, the less you'll use it in the future, right?
Yeah.
So the more you tap it, the less you tap it in the future.
Mhm.
You'll still tap here and there, like Jesse will say, maybe like every other month, a one tap for his dogs when he's taking him for a walk. He's not always using it. It's there for emergencies only. But that's another thing. When the e-collar is on, why does my dog act well behaved, but when I take it off, why are they, back to how they were? It's just called opportunistic behavior. It's a nature thing. Humans do it too. So like if we're on the highway, no one goes to speed limit on the highway, no one. But once they see a squad car like on the corner on the side, everyone slows down. Then once that squad car is gone, we go back to speeding. It's opportunistic behavior. Dogs will do it too. So we like to call e-collar a cop on a collar. It's nothing, has nothing to do with the training, has nothing to do with you guys practicing at home. It's just Bruno knowing that, if he can get away with something, he's going to get away with it. That's just how nature works. Any other questions so far?
No.
Yeah. So that's the in-person kind of programs for you guys, as I was addressed. So we also have daycare and train. So daycare and train is when, you pick a bundle. So like, you'd probably be in more of like the 10-day range. 10 day is equal to the 9-week program. So you'd pick, you have 10 days of a bundle, right? Now, for the in-person, how it works is we meet 1 hour, let's say Sunday at 1 p.m. for 9 Sundays, right? For the daycare, you don't need to choose a time. It's just, we give you days so that we're not getting so many daycare and trains on one day, so then we don't have time to work and give our full time for the dogs. So it'd be like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? If you miss a Monday, there's nothing happens, right? Because you still have those days. You don't lose a day. But what daycare train is you bring Bruno for a regular day of daycare. We just start training him. So we teach every single command the first day, and we record everything. So from as soon as we put the e-collar on, we're recording, so that you guys get to see how he took to the e-collar, what happened, did he start getting stressed, and how did we work through that stress? Did he get flighty where he tried getting away, and how did we work through the flight mode, stuff like that. And I'm talking to you, it'll be me in the videos. So I'm talking to you guys how we teach it, what the commands are, and then how to practice at home. So let's say you do the 10-day bundle, you get it's 2 weeks. So then you get two hour long videos, right? So the first hour long video is him on short leash, teaching him everything. And then the second video is us using long leash, saying like, this is how we do long leash work with him. This is kind of what he knows right now and where he's at. And then after a day of daycare and training, you come pick him up as usual. Once you see those videos, you can start practicing. And then after his program is ended, or maybe in the middle, up to you guys when you want to schedule a follow-up. So then we can see, show us what you've been practicing, and then we correct whatever needs to be corrected. Or if you're, you're on top of it, you're on top of it, you're good. So that's daycare and train. And then we have board and train, where you leave him for like a week, 2 week, 3 week, or 4 week. The 2 week program would be equal to the 9 week, I believe, or maybe maybe 1 week. I'll have to check that, but same ordeal. We record everything, except now we get to have him for a longer period of time, where we get more training sessions in, basically like more sessions in, from nighttime, after work, after daycare ends. And then, we still do the training walks. Like we'll take him to Home Depot here and there. Like for daycare and training, we do that too. But if you happen to bring him on a busy day, then we can't really leave the facility because we need to watch the dogs, and then we can train him here. But board and train allows us more time to do other things outside. And then for the board and train follow-ups, you get more time because he's boarding here. And then we transfer everything to you. Pros and cons for these programs. Or first, do you have any questions about the programs?
That would be my question. What's the pros and cons to each thing?
Yeah, so in person, pros are you're doing all the work. We don't touch Bruno. We coach you through everything. It's all verbal instruction. So you're technically training Bruno from the ground up. You're learning how to problem solve, troubleshooting. You're seeing everything happen right in front of you. It's one-on-one, so we get to talk more about everything, answer questions. We also train at Oz Park.
Yeah.
So Oz Park is the busiest park in the city. There's bikes, dogs, baseball games, grills, parties, everything is there, right? So if we can train Bruno at Oz Park, you basically can do any environment, right? Cons is that it takes a little longer because we give you one topic at a time for the week to practice. So we don't just overload you with information and then then it becomes messy because we're overloading you guys. So one topic at a time for a week. Um,
How
so
long are those sessions? Like
an hour long.
okay.
So you'll get, let's say you choose a 9 week, right? You get, for time slots, you get so you have those 9 time slots of those your time, right? You have 9. You reserve those. No one can take them from you, plus 1. So in case if you have to cancel or something, you have another slot reserved for you, in case something happens. And no one can take these times away from you, right? If you use that plus 1 and another one, then you're gonna have to wait until there's more availability for you in the future, And it doesn't have to be that same time we've been using. It could be a different time if that is the situation. Anything else about the in-person? Cool. Then we have the pros and cons for the daycare and train and board and train is that we get it done faster. It's a lot faster. Cons, everything is tied to us, but we work through that by the follow-ups. So we're transferring everything to you about the follow-ups, and we go, we take a lot of time for the follow-ups to make sure everything is transferred to you guys. Another con would be, because we only record the first sessions. So let's say we record the first sessions and then the next day he comes in and I'm working with him and then something happens where that you guys should have seen, you guys won't see it, and then we'll tell you what happened. Then you're we're telling you, but then in reality you're like, okay, if that happens, well, I'll try to figure it out. You know what I mean? So that's another con. You're not seeing everything. But we get it done faster. So that's pretty much it. Pros and cons for all the programs. There's nothing wrong with it. So I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, could we do this? Could we send you his crazy video? And then could you recommend what you think is best for us? And I'll be super honest in this, is as much as I want to be there for every session,
Yeah.
I feel like that's a possibly difficult thing for us based on having 2 kids and being working parents and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be possible to send you the video and have you observe that and then see what your recommendation would be out of the 3?
There's no need. It's
okay.
It won't affect the training, right? So we'll get the same results, but it's just on you guys, If it's not possible, we still have success and owners are still happy with daycare and train. One owner I quote said it was life-changing. So stuff still gets done. You're not missing out on anything, you're just missing out on some moments here. But since we're only dealing with obedience.
Right.
If we were dealing with behavior word, reactivity, barking at everyone, then that's something you kind of need to work on hands-on and seeing how to handle these situations, right? But since we're dealing with only obedience, you're not really missing out on anything crazy, because it's just obedience. So if daycare train works for your schedule, right? You drop them off and then you pick them up, or board train. Let's say you're going to go out of town soon, and you want to take advantage of that and do the board and train. Have him come here, train him when you come back from vacation, work, whatever, and it's all done. Then we can have a follow-ups, right? So it's just whatever works for your work schedule. There's nothing. I don't recommend anything. We always encourage in person, right? But if it's for Bruno, daycare and train works, board and train works as well. It's nothing that I don't need to see the video because I already know Bruno and it's just basic stuff. And it's really easy stuff. E-collar training is very easy. It's very easy to teach you guys after the fact that he's done the training and everything like that. So it's not an issue. Plus you still get that in-person follow-up. So it's not like we're never going to be working with you guys, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Any other question? Does that answer your question about like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if we chose like boarding or the daycare option and whatever, 4 weeks went by and we decided to do some follow-up appointments that were private, we could choose just like doing 1 or 2 or 3 private sessions, right?
Yeah, so depending on which program you choose, that's how many hours of follow-up you get. It's hours, it's not really classes. So like
Okay.
we can do a 2-hour session if you like if you guys
Yeah,
want that,
okay.
You schedule them. So if you choose 10 days of daycare and train or like 4 weeks of board and train, at that 2 week, you can schedule a follow-up in the middle of this training just to see like, be part of the training, like what's going on. Cool, cool, cool. He knows this, he knows this. Okay, we'll see you maybe like next week if you want to schedule another follow-up. Whenever you guys want. Or sometimes owners don't schedule a follow-up. They only schedule one follow-up after the program and they're just happy. So they don't need to schedule anything else after that. It's just depending on you guys when you want to schedule that follow-up. Obviously, we recommend you do at least one follow-up just so we make sure you're happy and then everything is transferring well to you guys. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Any other questions about e-collar, the programs, or
Did
so
Nate
after,
tell you a funny story about this?
say it again?
Did Nate tell you the funny story about all this?
I don't think so.
So I work with Jesse's hair colorist and hair cutter, or his girlfriend's hair colorist and hair cutter.
Yeah.
We were checking out places and I was like, I have one more. And then we both had the same place and it was you guys.
Oh, really?
It's like I already made an appointment with daycare, so let me know what if you want to try somewhere else. And then she's like, well, it's called Canine Perspectives. And I'm like, oh, good. That's where I made the appointment.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, Jesse's girlfriend sees like 2 of my good friends for haircut and color.
Oh, okay. I got you. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I think Jesse's got like 7 clients at like near Trebas Park, or like he's trained a lot of dogs near Trebas Park. And like I just got a client, and then I said, "Your dog looks a lot like another dog I know in Trebas Park." Like, oh, we know that dog too. You're in Trebas. Like, it's just funny, like how small of a world we live in. What else? What else? Am I missing anything? So after the consultation, I'll send a follow-up email. Basically, all the programs, so like daycare and train, in-person training, and board and train. Or are you guys leaning more towards like the daycare and train or board and train programs?
Probably daycare.
Okay.
But we'll think about it.
Yeah.
We'll go through the email. We'll think about it. We'll look at our schedules and just figure out. I like I said, if it's 9 weeks where we have to have a set appointment, that's gonna be really. I don't see that happening, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And it's a long time. That's like 2 full months at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And especially with kids' schedules, our work schedules, finding a day that's going to work every week is going to be really hard. So
we work totally opposing schedules.
Yeah, no worries. So I'll send all the programs with pricing. The e-collar I recommend for Bruno. And a contract, a form you need to sign, but it's only for in person. You already signed the form and everything that we would need you to do for daycare and training on the Ginger for daycare. So it's the same form.
okay.
So you let me know when you would like to start training, either daycare and train or board and train, and then we can start billing process right away. Now for the billing, I'll send you what a payment plan would look like if you want to do a payment plan or paying in full, whatever you guys want.
Yeah.
So the follow-up email. Oh, wait, that prong collar. Were you able to get the prong collar or?
No, you gave me you sent it to me. I looked real quick, but I didn't hit the buy button yet.
Yeah.
The prong collar.
Oh, the prom.
I
Yeah,
asked
yeah,
what
yeah.
they
Yeah. I mean, you don't, it's not like a big deal. You don't need it for e-collar training. But there's also nothing wrong with having a prong and e-collar on. It's just personal preference, really.
We've used prong collars in the past, even when we had like a little 12-pound dog, he had the prong collar on, because, little dogs, they seem, they're kind of jumpy, right? So,
Yeah, they're more,
They
yeah,
tend to
sometimes.
react quicker.
so
Yeah. Jesse has a Chihuahua Poncho. He's tiny. And when he was, I think it was like he was like growing into his career, or like he was like starting it before like formally training. He had the prong, and Poncho would be dog reactive, I think, so he'd bark, right? And Jesse would give a correction, right? But then he's still barking, and Jesse would, increase the power of the correction. Soon enough, Jesse would, pop it, and then the Chihuahua would spin, right? And then bark again. Like it was not connecting. Like he didn't care, right? And then like I think he said like people would be like, "What are you doing to your dog? Like why are you doing it? He doesn't want to. Like what are you doing?" Like, and then Jesse's like, "He's still barking. He doesn't care like what we're doing, right?" Then he did the e-collar stuff, and it like it fixed the problem and everything. But yeah, prong collar, whatever you want with that. What else? But yeah, follow up email with prices, and then letting me know, what you end up choosing for daycare and train.
will we have to buy the e-prong, or not the e-prong, the e-collar separate, or will you guys supply that?
So we do both. So I can either send you an Amazon link and you just order it yourself, or if you want to buy it from us, we also sell it.
Okay.
30 days. So if you buy from us, you have 30 days. If there's any malfunctions, errors, or whatever in those 30 days, you can give it back to us and we'll deal with Dogtra for you, and then we'll borrow you a collar.
Okay.
After those 30 days, you would have to contact Dogtra, and then I think we can still borrow you a collar. But if you order off Amazon, it's just kind of like you guys have to do the Dogtra stuff. I mean, and we sell this for the same price, really. But it's just personal preference for you. I would have to check to make sure we have his specific collar that I think would be for Bruno in stock. I think we should. But yeah, we sell. And then you can also order it yourself as well.
Okay.
Nate hates Amazon, so we'll probably get it from you.
Yeah, it's just personal preference. Support small businesses. I'm just kidding.
Right, exactly.
What else? So yeah, we supply the collars if you'd like. What else? So yeah, Dogtra, 127 levels, very durable, waterproof. They charge and they stay charged for a long time. And they're for hunting dogs. So like you have that mile, half mile range or whatever you're needing. We got the big boy collars and small dog collars. You get the smaller box on Bruno, so it's not like a big old box hanging out on Bruno. What else? It's pretty easy to use. There's other collars out there that I don't favor because you need to like move a button for it to go higher, and then you get 5 levels, and then another button to put it higher, then you get 5 levels. Versus it's just a dial. You go up or down. It's pretty simple, easy to use. What else? Any other questions or anything else?
No.
Cool.
I don't think so.
Cool.
It's been great, and it feels like the right fit. I don't know if he told you, but we tried going somewhere else before, and it was not the right fit.
Oh, okay, I see.
They kept being like, Bruno's really anxious, and I'm like, duh, he's a COVID dog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't.
He's humans in 9 months.
I don't. Where were they getting the anxious from? Like, why were they?
Like, because he was panting. They said when like bigger dogs tried to interact with him, he would like run away and hide and pant. I don't know. It was a very odd experience.
Okay, so that's more like stress,
Right. Like
That's
yeah.
not anxiety.
To me, I'm like, that seems normal for a dog that we got in October and hasn't been away from his humans since then. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, we've never noticed anything like that from Bruno here. We put him in the playpen, he just bolts to the dogs and just is
That's
playing. We've never seen him become flight or like, fearful or like, whatever. But it could have also been because of the way we do our evaluations, where we didn't let him play with dogs right away.
right.
We took it slow. So that could have been it as well. But I don't notice any stress from him here. He plays well in the kennel. He just sleeps when he's resting.
Yeah.
On the treadmill, I don't know. Did I take a video? I'm not sure if you guys have seen, but he does treadmill work.
I know. Well, you told us that he was doing it well.
Yeah, he does a good job. Yeah, he does treadmill. There's no issues there. Say it again.
He sled dogs them on their scooters.
Wait, what does he do?
The
He pulls
kids
kids.
pull the leash on their scooters, and then he runs and makes them go.
Oh, I see. That's fun. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, he's doing a lot of things here, and he does them well. It's possible that we could, once we start e-collar training, we could see some anxiety. That's not e-collar making the anxiety happen. It's just he was always anxious inside. So e-collar is a stressor. So it's like, what is his stress response in this moment? Oh, it's anxiety. Okay, we have to work him through that to overcome the anxiousness, right?
Yeah.
So if we see that, it should end up going away, but just letting you know that we're not creating it. It's just his response to stress,
Totally.
Um,
They told
yeah.
us he was a really sweet dog that didn't quite know he was a dog. And I was like, really? Because I've seen him run through the country and chase squirrels and dig holes and
Yeah.
all those things. It just wasn't the right fit. This
Yeah.
feels the right fit.
Yeah. And then our environment, we can have 40 dogs here and it's just quiet. There's no constant bark because that's stressful as well. Just the environment alone, there's a lot of noise because noise is energy, right? So then it can cause stress there. But it's quiet here. Dogs snore here when they're resting in their kennels. You'll hear a dog snoring. It's just funny. But yeah. If there's nothing else, we can end it here.
Yeah.
Keeping an eye out for the follow-up. I'll send it most likely tomorrow. And then for some reason, here and there, it'll go to spam. So if it goes to spam, just double check. Or if you're not seeing it, check the spam. Double checking there.
Will it be from you or will it be through the Ginger app?
It'll be from me.
I haven't had any problems finding your email. So
okay, cool, nice. But other than that, if there's nothing else,
This was great. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm sorry I was late, but this was.
No worries. You're fine. But cool. It was nice speaking to you guys. Hope to see Bruno soon, and have a good rest of your night. And just keep an eye out for that follow-up email.
Will do.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Thanks.
Bye.